I'm talking, I'm walking, making videos, gotta clock in. I'm yapping, I'm rapping, I'm 6 foot, no, I am not capping. Welcome back to another video. Today we're having a yap sesh, okay? I just want to talk about this. I've seen it all over Twitter and TikTok and all these other places, but I want to talk about whether certain characters in the Marvel universe should be brought to Marvel Rivals as their own character or just as a skin. Now, like I said, this is something that I've been seeing all over Twitter. Specifically, it's a bunch of people talking about it, not necessarily arguing over it, but kind of arguing over it. And it's really just been something that I find actually pretty interesting. And I wanted to kind of bring it to you guys' attention and talk about it and see what you guys think in the comments and stuff. But that's going to be things like Red Hulk, Miles Morales, War Machine, characters like that, X-23, characters that are similar to their, the character they were based on or exist with or whatever the case may be, but not necessarily unique enough to be put into the game in their own right. So this might be a short yap session, not really sure. I mean, you probably know based off the video, but I don't. But I just want to talk about it. I think personally where I stand on this matter is it depends. I think that with certain characters you could do it. I think there's some characters that you just can't. And I feel like that's kind of definitive. Like, for example, I've seen a lot of people with the release of Captain America, the new Captain America movie, I've seen a lot of people talk about Red Hulk. And when it was, people thought the mystery skin for the Regal bundle was going to be Red Hulk, a lot of people were kind of like, well, why would they do that? I think Red Hulk it's a completely different character. They should be in the game in their own right. That's one that I disagree with. I think there are a multitude that I would agree with, but that's one that I disagree with and that I kind of want to use as an example or bring attention to is, yes, he is a different character. Obviously, he's literally a different person. He's different color. He has a different power set. He has the heat going on, but realistically, I think that's a character that is similar enough to the base character, I will call them, that being Hulk in this instance, that you don't need an entirely new character built around Red Hulk, especially with the fact that this is a video game and there is, there's a multitude of things you could do with characters and there's a multitude of characters you could put in the game, but to a certain extent you want a lot of those characters to be unique. It's Marvel, so I understand that they want them to be popular enough, but you also want a lot of those characters to be unique in their own regard because, it's a marketing ploy. You can, I've never heard of whoever, fucking The Thing, but I really like playing him in the game. Let me go read comics. I know he's a popular character. I just couldn't think of an example, you know what I mean? But it's kind of a marketing tool in that aspect, and you do want to you want them to be popular enough to where people can get hype for them, but also not popular enough to where people will be like, I don't know who that is, and they look lame, and I don't. So I understand that it's a balance, but that's why for me the answer is it just depends. And an example for that obviously being Red Hulk. I think Red Hulk is a case where you can easily look at it and say, we don't need Red Hulk in this game. Yes, he does have different powers, but as far as tanks go, you don't just want, another Hulk. It's the same for if you're going to start with Bruce Banner, you don't need She-Hulk in the game, that sort of thing. You're kind of good on the Hulks. You don't really need Abomination. You don't need a lot of Hulks anymore, you know what I'm saying? Because you do want to have, it's not just the character, it's also the play style. Now, with that said, I understand it's a video game, and they could very, very well go on and add a new power or change powers or whatever for the sake of video games, especially if it's a lesser known character. But I think staying true to being Marvel, and they have so far, a lot of these people, their powers are pretty accurate. Their abilities are pretty accurate to their comic counterparts. So I think they want to stick with that theme. Another example, War Machine. I've seen a lot of people surprisingly arguing about War Machine. War Machine is one that's kind of on the brink, but he's another one that I don't think should be added in their own regard. It is literally just an Iron Man. I understand he's more machine gun based, if you will, but it's kind of that same thing. Do you need a flying Punisher in a sense? You know what I mean? It's stuff like that you have to look at. Like, yes, these are characters that are really, really cool, and they have a lot of lore, and they could do cool skins and designs and all this sort of stuff. But I think to a certain extent, you really have to evaluate the fact that, it's not, it can't work to an extent. With that being said, there's obviously another side to this. I think there are also a multitude of characters that you can put in the game as skins. Now, this is the part that I really want to talk about, because yes, Red Hulk, War Machine, whatever the case, I think there are plenty of characters who you don't need to have their own characters, right? I don't think that they need to be their own characters in the game. However, I do think, and this is the part that I really want to talk about, I do think that the idea of having Red Hulk in the game as a skin could work. Now, personally, because I mean, they obviously are not afraid to work hard, you know what I mean? The detail that goes into this game is insane. But personally, I don't think that you should, if you are gonna put, you know, like a War Machine in the game, obviously War Machine is not Tony Stark, okay? He is Rhodey, and Rhodey is a completely different person than Tony Stark. So I think, out of respect for the character, at that point, if you are to put them in as a skin, or whatever the case may be, I think you still need to go out of your way, and it would be great for the game and for people. You need to go out of your way to write scripts for unique voice lines. You need to hire a completely different voice actor. I think if you are to go that route, which I think they should, I honestly encourage it. I understand that at that point, it technically is a different character. However, I think that it wouldn't, so long as from a video game standpoint, so long as the gameplay is the same, I think it's okay. Like, if you're gonna have War Machine and Iron Man one in the same character, I think it's okay to do War Machine as a skin and have new voice lines and a new voice actor and all this sort of stuff. I understand that that can get a little crazy and convoluted and a little bit much, but at the same time, you have enough characters in your universe already that you could potentially add to the game, right? We could get to the triple digits in characters in this game and it could still be playable. However, like I said earlier, you don't want those characters to be similar. So to an extent, and maybe a community vote, whatever the thing, because this is just me, but I think that if you are going to be putting those characters into the game in some capacity, you could put them in as just skins, as playable skins. But when you're wearing those skins, okay, I'm not Tony Stark anymore, I'm not Iron Man, I am War Machine, I am Rhodey. Give me unique voice lines, give me that sort of stuff. I think that could work. Now, I do want to say that I really only think that with the characters that are super similar. I'm not saying because Abomination is another brute, you should put an Abomination skin for Hulk. But, you know, Red Hulk, I think, is close enough. Maybe She-Hulk, that sort of stuff. I don't think you should get too crazy with it or too broad with it and just be like, oh, you know, put so-and-so in for Iron Man, whatever the case. But I think it's doable. Now, along with this, I can also acknowledge that, you know, there's definitely people that are similar but would still, in my opinion, need their own abilities, right? And could be useful in their own right. The perfect example that I can think of is, a lot of people talk about the Spider-Verse and different Spider people. You know, if you're gonna put Spider-Man Noir in there, or, you know, whatever the case may be, yeah, okay, Spider-Man Noir, sure. Spider-Ham, for Christ's sake, sure. Whatever, just get crazy with it. Those should be skins in their own regards. However, if you're going to put someone like Miles Morales, he quite literally has, you know, more powers. You know, he can turn invis. He has the Venom Strike. So in that regard, I think that's someone that, yeah, you probably could get away with hiring a new voice actor and just doing a Miles skin. However, that's also an example of someone with, and now I just sound biased. I get it. I understand that, you know, Red Hulk from earlier has different powers. I get those things, but I think at some point in development, you do have to create a line in which you can draw and say, okay, this person is like this character, right? This is their mentor, they have the same mantle, whatever the case may be, but they have completely different powers. Then you can go and you can do it, I think. But there definitely has to be a line where you draw it and say, okay, maybe not. For example, even Spider-Man 2099, for example, is, you know, someone that doesn't have spider powers. I mean, the dude has claws, he has no spider sense, all that sort of stuff. So that's someone, maybe you can make him a tank, that sort of thing. But overall, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think this is a really interesting conversation to have because everyone has different views on it, which is why I wanted to talk about it. And yeah, it's just really interesting to see what people think about it, because a lot of people, you know, maybe it's their favorite character, but their favorite character is extremely similar to a character that's already in the game, or they share the same mantle. So you know, there's a chance they may never see their character in this game, which really sucks. But at the same time, it's kind of like, well, what are the devs supposed to do? Are they supposed to throw in a completely different character in a sense? You know, are you supposed to play as X-23 or as Wolverine or Miles or Peter or whatever the case may be? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think it's a really interesting conversation to have, but probably a pointless one. I mean, you can already look at certain things. I mean, they put Kane Parker, Scarlet Spider. That's a different person, so to speak. I just don't think they will, to be honest. I think whatever we get is what we get. And if they're going to do different skins, that's all it's going to be. You know, we might get Peter in a 2099 costume, that sort of thing. So, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think it's a really fun conversation to have, interesting conversation to have, and I would love to know your opinion. Be sure to peep the socials in the description. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. And I was going to say something. No. Goodbye? Like, you can't have me running as horse-faced Beta Ray Bill talking like the God of Thunder.